On Matchday Live is Casey Stoney as her first victory as the head coach of the Canadian women's national team. I've been spending the last 10 or 15 minutes trying to decide who caught more strays in the second half. Was it referee Cataline Shiposh or was it yours truly from Amy Walsh, who's doing double duty for us today? Look, it's just the second win for Canada, just their second multi-goal performance since they beat France at the Olympics. They had the big one against Korea. It felt at times as though it was going to be that slim 1-0 victory again. Not necessarily an offensively inspiring performance, Amy, but I think back to our conversation with Casey Stoney, and she said one of the things that bugged her about the game was the effort dropping after 30 minutes, bad habits sneaking in. So while this isn't a game to write home about, not one the supporters will remember fondly, there was improvement, and they ultimately win by 2-0.
There was improvement. I think they were more technically sound. There was more composure, and there were those kind of anger points that was lacking in that first game. And I think the no talent aspect that Casey Stoney really pushed, or at least to us, like do the things right that doesn't take any talent. Right. I think that Canada delivered on that today. I think in fits and starts, not completely across 90 minutes, but they do enough. And I think that is also a takeaway against an opponent that was hungry for a victory versus the Canadians.
It's hard to complain when you get a win and then you get a clean sheet. And I think in 10 years' time, when someone says you beat Mexico, 2025 is Casey Stoney's second game in charge, you're going to be like, oh, scored 2 goals and you didn't concede. But I think during the match, there are moments where I throw my hands up because there's an expectation, I feel like, with this side. The players that we have and the Canadian players that are in this side, you're expecting to see it just a bit more discipline, controlling the match a bit more. I would have liked to see that today, but again, when you come in on the other side and there's still a lot to play for, I know Casey Stoney said she doesn't care about winning this cup, but it's nice to lift silverware and to be ahead. So I'll take the good with the bad. I'll be half glass full like Amy told me to be.
Yeah, but I'll come back glass half empty because like I mentioned on the call, the industry, the blue collar, that aspect was there, but it's still lacking in imagination. Lacked a little bit of that creative spark, and we did see in good good spots, sparks, good moments, it lacked the clinical edge to finish that off. So if you saw a good spell, they weren't ruthless enough in the box. I
think also too, like the reason why it's annoying a little bit is because Casey Stoney is new, but this team isn't. Like the players, like the familiarity that should be there sometimes. There's certain moments where there shouldn't be a big hole in the midfield, because these midfielders have played together. We can get into who should play where and what the chemistry's like. But at the end of the day, you've been playing this game for so long. Defend is defend. There shouldn't be a huge gap. This is how you should attack. There should be a little bit more of that bite, I would say, from the players. So that's why it's a bit, I'm excited for the win, but I'm also like, can we kick it into gear a little bit quicker? That's just what I want to see moving forward.
And be killer when there's an opportunity to be killer. That's what we want to talk about next. This is the team that has gone 21 games in a row without losing in 90 minutes. We're used to them sort of scrapping and clogging, getting over the finish line, but we haven't really seen, other than that Korea match at the end of last year, them put their foot on the gas when they could, because they were up a man for the large portion of this match, half of it in fact, and that's where we want to start as we look back. Our Volkswagen moments of the match. Ultimately, Ania Mejia, she was lucky to be in the game as long as she was. We recapped it at halftime. A lunge, a jump, studs up on Olivia Smith, who got hacked down probably 4 or 5 times in this game. And that was the first yellow. She was on thin ice. Surely this is a second yellow card, stepping into Jordan Huitema, who, by the way, has been hammered by Mexico in plays like this. I remember BMO Field, she was tossed onto the concrete.
Yes.
And that could have been the second yellow. It wasn't Jordan, but ultimately this one was. Adriana Leon, feet swiped. Ania Mejia was not interested in playing football today.
She was allergic to the second half. She said, I don't like second half football. But all jokes aside, even though the first foul on Olivia Smith, just grateful that Olivia was okay. But so many people talk about, oh, well, she didn't really catch her cleanly, or people talk, it's the intent to injure. If I jump 2 legs and have 1 leg extended, if you catch anyone at all, that is a straight red card. So Mejia is lucky that it took that long, and I'm just lucky that fellow Canadians didn't get injured in the process.
It has to have established some sort of bar, right? Because all 3 of those tackles individually could have been straight sending offs. And yet they weren't. You said allergic to the second half. Maybe she had a flight to catch. Maybe she had somewhere to be. She was never going to take part in the third game. Like, I never got a straight red card. I got 2 yellows in Edmonton against Germany. And I actually did have a flight to catch, but that was sort of an afterthought.
What'd you do? You remember the fouls?
Oh, it was a terrible foul where he's grabbed the player's waist like it was a yellow all day.
The second one was that one?
Second one, yep. It was one of those
How
ones I
many
never
double yellows
stood-
did you get?
I probably got a dozen in my career. Yeah, and I think my best stat was like 3 reds in like 10 games. It was bad. It was a dark time.
We will we'll dig through the archives.
We
to
progress.
find those.
Dark
We
time.
talked a
move
lot
on.
about Vanessa Gilles before the match began. It was her 50th cap today, a half centurion now. She gets the match-winning goal and puts in a performance that helps keep the clean sheet for Canada. She is rightfully going to take home the Gatorade performance of the match. Olivia Smith from the corner, good ball in. Haidema first header, Amy, and Gilles, who's become a goal-scoring threat for this team, somehow has another headed goal.
She's unreal, but a nod. I mean, gets the first header, so it's aptly put to Jordan Haidema, who quietly had herself an outstanding match. But yeah, Vanessa Gilles, every time she comes to this national team, it's like she's setting a new bar, new standard for herself, but also her teammates, so they can look to her as that reference point for where we need to get our level every single time we play, no matter what kind of is on the line, whether it's a win or die match against France in the Olympics or it's match 2 of the Pinatar Cup. Vanessa Gilles shows up.
Consistency, that's what we said pregame. Can we show the goal one more time? Because there's just something I want to highlight in terms of everyone else and what Vanessa Gilles does. Like, this is the way, and this is why she gets on the end of so many goals, is because everyone else falls asleep. Great ball by Olivia Smith. Jordan Haidema gets up early, but she's the only one to move once Haidema makes contact with the ball. She's the only one, like, seeking it out. And people be like, oh, you're in the right place at the right time. That was a lucky finish. She's the only one active in the box. And when you're a kid, whatever coach says is like, make movement. Ball goes one way, make sure you're moving the next spot. She does it. So again, the consistency part, but a player that's eager to make a difference, and she does it today.
And also understanding who you are and where you are, that there was a crouch down
There it is.
to not at home versus a lean back and try to get your laces through it. Vanessa Gilles was never going to do that.
Yeah,
it was
perfect.
adjust the body position, knot it in.
I understand now why you wore jeans to the broadcast today, just to be agile and ready to go here.
You get back
No, I
on
said, I'm
back
not
on
doing
my tee.
So
I'm not
that's the
bending.
second goal in the match. Of course, Adriana Leon made it 2-0. The insurance market Canada would have loved in the 70th minute of the match. It all starts from the back. Shalina
Great ball.
Zadorsky. Marie Yasmin Alidou comes into the game. She was bright in a much more limited role today and some decent runs. Nichelle Prince comes over, and ultimately this one had to go in the back of the net. Right place, right time for Adriana Leon, who has another. I think she's up close and pushing in on 50 now, Jordan.
No, it's beautiful because the fluidity of this goal and the fact that there's so many able bodies to make runs and the little flick-ons is great. Can we talk about Evelyn Viens and the fact that you maybe are shooting on target, but it's more of a pass?
Yeah.
You can't do that twice. So that is a beautiful little assist. You try to put it, and she puts it around the foot. That was great. But 2-0, secured it. That's how you feel. I guess that's a bright spark from today.
It's what you want your poacher doing. You don't want
Right.
Evelyn Vienne trying to flick that or doing something complicated. You want her trying to put her foot through it. Doesn't come off, ends up being a flick on for Leon, who has all day to just pass it into the net. But I think that was where you saw Canada from start to finish, that great line-breaking pass. We saw it occasionally from, that one was from Zadorsky. We saw it also from Kaylin Sheridan to break
Right.
lines, find the midfielder, and then exploit that space. But there was where they finished it off. Whereas all the other combination play, one-touch movement, really quick kind of tiki-taka stuff down the spine, never amounted to much. That one you saw it in the back of the net, and that was probably great to see from their perspective, but also for ours.
Yeah,
I think
I
Canada,
think so.
I think that's merited. They were a player up, but that's a merited 2-0 victory.
All right, 3 hours of football in this tournament played, 3 goals for Canada. Should there have been a little bit more?
Yes. A resounding yes. Absolutely. I mean, of course, when you look at film and Casey Stoney's going to do it, you want to talk about the process, right? And playing a certain way and identity. So, yeah, of course there should be more. But throughout the match, I thought that maybe you could say they grew into the match a little bit. You see Jessie Fleming here again. We showed at halftime. But just that, I think you said this. No, this is your word.
I will take
Toothlessness?
credit for it.
Toothlessness?
Yes.
You said it. And yeah, for me, it's like, just go and try to be the heroine. Make sure that you're the person to make the difference. You see there, Adriana. I don't want Adriana Leon passing the ball ever in the box. She has a rifle. Shoot. Did you see here, Haidema as well, dribbling. From my recollection, I'm not the best at math, but this is a 3v3. Olivia Smith is running forward, making sure you're giving her the ball. Hopefully she can finish this. But this is what you want to see more of, getting in the opportunities for Canada, getting in these spaces, but just having the wherewithal to be like, I want to make the difference and score. And we've got to see more of it moving forward, Amy. This one for me, sorry, before we get to Amy, I know it's not on your right foot. I know you're left-footed, Grosso. But why are we turning in the box? Shoot! I don't care if you're, like, put it to that right foot and caress it top corner. And if the keeper makes a save, okay, she makes a save. But have more shots. Sorry, now you can go.
No, well, I saw your
moment.
move before where you asked Lucas or control room, can we see that clip again? I didn't know we could do that, and this is where I should employ it. Can I see that whole sequence again? No, I'm just kidding. I want to talk over it as well. But Julia Grosso, that great touch that she took off the ball by Carl to Springer in between that seam, well, not here, but against China, in between, you know, the two center forwards occupying the center backs. Sauna's pulling the fullback over, finding the seam between a fullback and the center back. Takes that great touch to put herself in on goal so that she has a chance to finish off that opportunity. That touch was the opposite of that. It was, you have to recognize I'm in the box. She had a similar play in the first half. Outside of the box, you're going 1v1. Don't take it to the touch line. Take it to the byline or go 1v1, force the player to foul you, or at worst, you earn the corner.
But Amy, do you think that has everything to do with like her predominant foot? Like that one, you see her cutting back on her left because that's her safety. The goal's on the right side, but safety is coming back to the left. I feel like with a player like that, you saw with her goal against China, she's like, I'm coming in on my left foot. That left or the right corner, I guess, looks open. It just felt more natural. But
yes, dominant foot. That's a really astute point made by you. But Julia Grosso's left foot is not like a Cece, the Brazilian great. Like her left foot, she also has a right. Like Cece's right foot helped her get on and off the bus. She only could rely on her left foot. Julia Grosso is capable with both feet. There's no reason to turn away from goal there.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, some flowers for Kaylin Sheridan, who picks up another clean sheet here today. And these friendlies, I'm sure that whoever's in net, whether it's Prue, D'Angelo, or Sheridan, they're usually not this busy. So this is a great match for the Canadian goalkeeper, and she was excellent in it as well. These are your all-state saves of the match. She had to work for her clean sheet today, Amy.
She did, and it comes up big. We know that Kaylin Sheridan is part of that core group of players. Stalwart at the back, world-class goalkeeping all the time. Couple of hiccups, I think, with like a Megan Reid, where that communication, that relationship, that partnership is going to have to be developed a little bit. But when needed, when called upon, she made the key save so that Canada was in a position today to win the game.
What I love, and it was something small, obviously she had a great performance, but the last time she held the ball and she was down, I saw players like the Mimi, everyone asking for a quick release when they're winning 2-0, and just her saying, no. Keeper, I love that because chill out.
Yeah.
Let's just end this game 2-0, but it means more. It's a keeper saying, look, we've had maybe not the best game, but we're up 2-0. I'm keeping my clean sheet, relax. And seeing players be like, okay, Kaylin, like you're in charge. You need that in the back line. So many games where a keeper comes out and they call it, it just puts so much ease to defenders. So I love seeing a leader take charge.
Well, Kaylin Sheridan, 3 big saves for the All-State saves of the match in a performance from Mexico where they attempted 11. All 3 of them on target were quite of a high caliber for Miss Sheridan in goal for the Canadians tonight. Canada with 5 shots from 13 attempted, 2/3 of the possession, 6 corners apiece. And you love to see the passing accuracy numbers from Canada good and high. You can tell that Mexico in the game were trying to play a lot of long balls, high risk, and ultimately lacking that fluidity, certainly when they went down a player as well in the second half. 2 of the 3 matches done at the Pinatar Cup. When we come back, a look ahead to Chinese Taipei on Tuesday and how Canada can win this tournament. That's coming up next on Matchday Live.
Dallas Canadian Championship carrying on. Pass it in the box.
Square pass for Joshua has found the opening goal.
Cordova sends a paper around, and has opened the scoring.
save up to 33% on select Walmart brand products. She nods in approval and places the tuna in her cart. This lady loves her tuna. She questions the ominous voice above her. Oh.
Canada so far undefeated at the Pinatar Cup, only conceding 1 goal to China. That was in the second half of the match just a few days ago. They scored 2 here today, and by quick math, that's 4 points. That's important in a moment. We'll remind you that this tournament concludes on Tuesday, a 2:30 p.m. start in Newfoundland and Labrador, and we will get an answer as to who will lift the trophy here. Scotland won the inaugural tournament back in 2020. Belgium in 22, Iceland in 23, Finland last year. 4 brand new teams, and as it stands, China and Mexico will have played previously before Canada even takes the pitch against Chinese Taipei, they'll know exactly what they need. Goal differential could matter, which means offense is something we will watch for on Tuesday. Look, it's no secret, Amy, you look at the FIFA World Ranking, you got to scroll to find Chinese Taipei. Canada should look at this game and say, okay, we've rotated our squad through, we've tried a few new things, this is our 3rd game in the new 4-4-2, and it should be pedal to the metal to try and win that trophy.
Yeah, they're going to be looking to score goals, 100%. So we've seen other things kind of come to life. We've seen rust around others. I mentioned the defensive and the attacking transition on the call. I think kind of knitting together all 4 phases of play is going to be critical, so you get kind of a cohesive performance across 90, but it's all about the goals. It's all about individuals in those moments, getting those opportunities, capitalizing, being ruthless, and then also collectively, how many goals can they put up?
I think with this team, I think with Casey Stoney moving forward for this last match is everyone's nearly gotten a taste. Well, I think it's only Nia Rose that is healthy and is the only player that hasn't played yet. Put your best team out there. Like, I get it. I get that what this time is for, but you want to play 2 up top, put your best 2. Put the 2 that you feel like is that chemistry you're waiting to see, but could also go and score the match. Then when you're 2-3-0 up and things are comfortable, let's have some fun. But I think go for it. You've used these 2 games now. Everyone gets a feel for playing in Spain, playing at the Pinatar Cup, playing again for Canada, playing under Stoney. Cool. Go out and win this game and from the beginning show what it means. And I think as well, it's just nice to lift something together. Stoney's 3rd game, Pinatar Cup, and you win it. I know you're saying that doesn't matter, but it does for morale within a dressing room. Absolutely. So try to go out and win this thing.
Agree. It matters to lift a trophy, whether it's a 3-team group stage tournament or 3-opponent group stage tournament or not.
Yes, winning does matter, but I think the priority for Stoney, so I'm going to play contrarian here.
Do it.
You?
For a change.
Shock.
is going to be chopping and changing in rotation and playing well in spite of new faces, in spite of heavy rotation. What is the level that they could kind of be base for this team moving forward in 2025?
I think also, too, to add is like, yeah, I'm saying play your best team, but what I noticed, for example, today, not to harp on the 2 midfielders, because I think they're exceptional players, but maybe the balance wasn't right with having Fleming and Grosso. Maybe this is a match where you're looking down your spine or you're looking at certain positions and you're like, this player has to play. That's okay for now. Like a Vanessa Gilles has to play. Emma Regan. slap her right in the middle. I don't want to see her playing right back. Slap her right there in the middle where she can go win and distribute. Olivia Smith, if she's healthy, has to play. Then you can maybe find some pieces and figure out what you want to do. But for me, I'm just saying go for it in this match and actually win something.
Can we see a Simi Awujo?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
This is Simi's coming out party. She's already come out. She's at the party. Can she mix and can she mingle and can she score some goals?
Yeah.
Well, she's the type of player that Canada will want for big tournaments, for big games. They can treat it like a must-win. Depending on what happens in that China and Mexico game, Canada might just need a point when they get to Tuesday, when they kick off against Chinese Taipei. We'll have you right back here on One Soccer. Amy Walsh and I, if we can get along long enough, we'll be in the booth together on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. But a successful performance for Canada. Don't hug me. The cameras might be off, but don't you stay over there. Full time for Canada. They win by 2-0. A scrappy evening in Spain. They get goals from Vanessa Gilles on her 50th cap. Adriana Leon made it 2-0. So some things to celebrate. For my partners, Jordan Wilson and Jamie Walsh, I'm Adam Jenkins. We'll see you back on Tuesday on Matchday Live, our Canadian Women's National Team.